Across the Philippines, entering the political arena is historically viewed as the ultimate play for power. But what if it is actually the most lucrative business plan imaginable? The most dominant figures in this land are far more than mere millionaires. They are massive billionaires with enough gold to swallow entire national industries. These are no simple public servants. They are corporate lords, media giants, and heirs to vast historical dynasties. How did they amass such staggering fortunes? As a chronicler of history, I am counting down the 10 richest politicians in the Philippines heading into 2024, and the dark truths behind their wealth. Their absolute dominion and their towering influence will shock even the most cynical observer. Walk with me as we unmask the colossal empires hiding behind public personas. We now step into the shadows, where endless capital and political authority collide. For decades, calculating the exact fortunes of these powerful rulers has been a massive historical guessing game. Our main weapon of investigation is the official Statement of Assets, Liabilities and Net Worth, the SALN. This is a sacred record that every state official is legally bound to declare. It was meant to be a clear lens into their private riches, a shield against greed. Yet for generation after generation, the regulations to view these ledgers remained intensely guarded, turning what was designed to be an open audit into a tangled labyrinth. However, history is finally shifting, though absolute clarity is still a distant dream. A recent ruling by the Ombudsman to ease these locks, coupled with fierce journalism, is finally pulling back the heavy curtain, revealing for the first time in history the true scale of the vast hoards held by rulers. Today, as chroniclers, we are not merely reciting dry equations. We are unearthing the grand sagas of this treasure. We shall track the ancient dynasties that have ruled over entire provinces for lifetimes, the billion-peso enterprises operating silently beside their high public offices, and the ruthless maneuvers that forged these modern-day kingdoms. This record is a meticulous archive built upon the latest declared SALNs from late 2024 and early 2025, paired with public registries, corporate registries, and rigorous financial forensic to show you and me exactly who holds the golden keys to Philippine power. We begin the descent from rank 10 to the ultimate supreme titan of wealth. Prepare yourselves for mind-bending sums, unforeseen revelations, and a dark historical look at what this massive accumulation of gold means for the kingdom. Let the chronicle begin. Guarding the 10th gate is an legendary elder statesman and a premier architect of the country's treasury, Ralph Recto. Archives from his 2019 SALN reveal 567 million pesos, and that treasury has undoubtedly grown since. His path is a pure masterclass in scaling the ultimate peaks of dominion, gliding easily from the lower Congress straight to the Senate, before seizing one of the most vital offices in the Crown Cabinet. In a massive historical shift in 2024, he was named Secretary of Finance, positioning him as the grand keeper of the empire's financial chessboard. The Recto fortune stems from razor-sharp business maneuvers and ancestral dynastic inheritance. Records show his roots trace to a powerful Batangas dynasty. He is the grandson of legendary nationalist statesman Senator Claro M. Recto, a true giant of Philippine history. This bloodline guaranteed him an immense political and social inheritance. Recto launched his political journey in 1992, becoming the youngest lawmaker elected to the 9th Congress. Throughout his 3 terms, he championed massive economic reforms and poverty relief. Yet his path remained highly unpredictable. History records his crushing Senate re-election defeat in 2007, a setback experts blamed on his support for the highly controversial expanded value-added tax. Yet, his economic brilliance was undeniable, earning him the leadership of the National Economic and Development Authority before his triumphant Senate comeback in 2010. His brilliant financial wisdom is not just theory. Records prove Recto's wealth stems from calculated, long-term investments and estate holdings. Elevating his massive profile further is his marriage to Vilma Santos Recto, the legendary screen icon, widely hailed as the star for all seasons, who later transitioned into a highly respected political force herself, serving first as mayor of Lipa and later as a congresswoman. This historic union forged an absolute powerhouse, dominating both culture and state governance. Now serving as finance secretary, Recto commands the wheel of the entire Philippine economy, a heavy mantle testing both his private financial genius and his massive public duties. Let us look now at number 9. One of the Senate's most formidable giants, Juan Miguel Migs Zubiri. He is an absolute political titan with deep ancestral roots in Mindanao, officially declaring a net worth of 431.7 million pesos in his December 2024 SALN declaration. Having once ruled as Senate President, he wielded one of the most powerful positions in the entire Philippine establishment, granting him immense influence over crucial laws and national policy. Chronologically, his rise began in his home province of Bukidnon, where his family reigns as an unstoppable political dynasty. He served as a district representative for 3 terms, before climbing to the national stage as a powerful senator. His vast fortune acts as a testament to combining inherited political power with diverse business empires. Official records reveal a massive portfolio of real estate, secured in strategic, high-value locations across the nation, including Cagayan de Oro, Batangas, and the elite financial district of Makati. The Zubiri name remains a historic legend in Bukidnon politics, with his father, Jose Maria Zubiri Jr., ruling as governor and congressman for decades. This relentless, multi-generational grip on local power built an elite foundation for both Migs's career and personal finances. But his wealth transcends politics, built heavily on highly profitable agricultural ventures, highly fitting given Bukidnon's reputation as a massive agricultural center, alongside diverse corporate deals. His recent spike in net worth was publicly linked to selling his massive shares in Bukidnon Power Corporation. This perfect blend of generational political power and elite business dealings has securing his place forever among the wealthiest leaders in the nation, demonstrating how local control serves as a gateway to national influence and vast generational wealth. Moving to number 8, we uncover a name forever bound to one of the most dominant and affluent families in our history, Emmeline Aglipe Villa. Though she forged a distinguished path and identity of her own, her legacy shows how marriage united immense personal drive with staggering family fortune. Official records from 2017 placed her net worth at over 1.4 billion pesos, an estate that has undoubtedly multiplied in the years since. As a formidable attorney, she dedicated her life to public service, advocating in Congress on behalf of the Diwa party list before rising to undersecretary within the Department of Justice. Yet chronicling her financial ascent is simply impossible without referencing her union with Senator Mark Villa, linking her to the titanic Villa business empire. This alliance brings her into the center of the country's grandest financial dynasties, an empire built upon the towering real estate giant of Vista Land. But history must look deeper than just her marital ties. She is the daughter of former National Police Chief Edgar Aglipe and has forged her own legacy as a powerful crusader. Her records show a life spent defending vulnerable women and children, while fiercely championing the rights of those with disabilities, co-establishing the Hope for Lupus Foundation following her personal battle. Her journey presents a fascinating, complex portrait of the modern Filipino power player, a figure merging her own elite career and noble causes with the unmatched backing and reach of a legendary political and commercial dynasty. Now let's look at a titan who needs no introduction. A global icon who physically fought from absolute destitution to legendary wealth, Manny Pacquiao. Public archives record his final senatorial net worth at an astounding 3.2 billion pesos. Yet even that massive sum only scratches the surface of his true wealth. His rise to riches stands unique in history, having bypassed inherited corporate empires or family political influence to forge a legendary career in the ring that crowned him among the highest-earning athletes of all time. Throughout his journey, the fighter known as Pac-Man secured roughly $500 million from match purses, broadcast revenue, and major bonuses. His historic 2015 clash with Floyd Mayweather alone earned him an astonishing $130 million. Across his career, 26 pay-per-view events generated over $1.3 billion. This massive influx of cash was doubled by colossal brand deals with legendary names like Nike, Nestle, and Hewlett-Packard. But the champion did not merely spend, he invested. He strategically channeled his earnings to build a vast and diverse business empire, spanning grand estates in Beverly Hills to massive properties across his homeland, and even a professional basketball league. He even built his own National Basketball League, alongside massive business ventures like his coffee chain empire. His official government salary was mere pocket change to him. Yet his rise from congressman to senator, culminating in his epic 2022 presidential run, cemented his legacy as a true political titan. Pacquiao represents the ultimate rags to riches legend, but his legendary story also exposes the massive gap that lies between a typical leader's officially declared wealth and their actual hidden global fortune. Breaching the elite billionaire list at number 6 is an absolute household phenomenon, forged not by old politics, but the unstoppable power of media Senator Rafi Tulfo. In official filings alongside his wife, Congresswoman Jocelyn Tulfo, they revealed a staggering net worth of 1.05 billion pesos by late 2024. This record cements him as one of the richest lawmakers in Philippine history, heralding the dawn of a completely different kind of power in the Senate, forged not through old-school land deals or heavy industry, but from the highly lucrative empire of viral content and broadcast media. Over long decades, Tulfo carefully constructed his massive media empire as an aggressive, crusading broadcaster. He turned his radio programs and viral online videos into an unofficial justice system for regular citizens, earning his legendary title as idol. This unique style of aggressive, instant justice became a massive cultural phenomenon, which he brilliantly used to launch an unstoppable high-speed political run, sweeping into the top 3 of the 2022 Senate race. The records prove his immense wealth flows directly from his production companies, the very studios controlling channels with tens of millions of loyal followers. Unbelievably, their filings show absolutely zero liabilities, meaning their massive billionaire fortune is completely debt-free. His spectacular journey from a local radio announcer to a billionaire senator and media tycoon marks a monumental shift in the halls of modern power, where having a giant digital following can instantly transform into an unbelievable fortune and unmatched political influence. As you and I reach the halfway point, the historical data is already staggering. From old dynasty leaders to modern media kings, these fortunes are simply unreal. If this detailed chronicle exploring the massive fortunes of these political titans is keeping you hooked, support our historical documentary by hitting that subscribe button and unlocking all future updates. The top 5 entries will completely reshape our understanding of political fortunes. Stay tuned for what comes next. At number 5, our records reveal an heir to the nation's most powerful dynasty, Senator Mark Villar. Born to real estate giant Manny Villar and Senator Cynthia Villar, his spot on our ledger was practically a birthright. His December 2024 tax filing cements him as the wealthiest senator in the country, boasting a stunning declared net worth of 1.26 billion pesos. Much like Rafi Tulfo, Senator Villar holds zero liabilities, proving the absolute power of an empire built entirely free of debt, long before he ever set foot in the Senate. Mark Villar once held one of the most powerful, heavily funded positions, ruling the country as the Secretary of the Department of Public Works and Highways. Through this office, he became the public face of the previous administration's monumental build infrastructure campaign, wielding an annual budget stretching into hundreds of billions of pesos. Yet his historical legacy remains highly contested. Critics and political rivals constantly raised heavy warnings of a massive conflict of interest as the chief of the nation's prime infrastructure agency, belonged to a dynasty built entirely on real estate and property development. Though his declared personal wealth is massive, it remains a mere fraction of his family's vast empire. Official records offer us a glimpse into his lavish lifestyle, detailing a luxury vehicle fleet, including a Chevrolet Suburban and a Ford Expedition. VR stands as the ultimate symbol of inherited power and wealth, a dynastic heir moving with perfect ease between the arenas of massive enterprise and high-stakes national politics. Now let us examine our fourth figure, whose colossal wealth and sudden, scandalous exit from Congress sparked heated public debate. The former Ako Bicol Party list representative, Saldi Company. Investigative archives have cast a glaring light on his extraordinary fortune. Even his own legal counsel confirmed he was a billionaire prior to entering public service in 2019, claiming a net worth of 4.1 billion pesos. His declared assets are now estimated to have grown to nearly 5 billion pesos, solidifying his rank among the absolute wealthiest figures in the entire country. Yet Ko's legislative career proved both incredibly powerful and deeply controversial. He soon rose to become chairperson of the immensely powerful House Committee on Appropriations, a post granting him massive control over how national funds were spent. But in late September 2025, he suddenly walked away from power, citing urgent medical reasons. This sudden exit aligned with an escalating state investigation into alleged corruption within massive public flood control projects, with his name placed front and center. The true foundation of his fortune lies in the private sector, largely built on construction and properties through his family's SunWest group of companies. Furthermore, records also connect his name to a fleet of private aircraft. Zaldi Ko's story is a dramatic, modern case study showing the dark intersection of immense private wealth and public power. He amassed a business fortune that completely overshadowed that of his political peers, long before taking office, while his brief legislative career placed him at the absolute center of the nation's finances, only to watch it collapse suddenly under a heavy cloud of scandal. Securing our number 3 spot is a descendant of a storied political dynasty in Negros Occidental, Representative Julio Jules Ledesma IV. In an unexpected and bold move toward transparency in late 2025, Ledesma openly released his statement of assets and liabilities, revealing a truly staggering, monumental net worth of 5.8 billion pesos. This single record instantly cemented his position among the wealthiest elites in the Philippine Congress, sending immediate shockwaves through the entire political establishment. His fortune stands as a classic case of dynastic old money, carefully guarded across generations. Ledesma represents the 1st District of Negros Occidental, a land long ruled by powerful sugar barons, whose empires have dominated local politics and the economy for over a century. The official financial records paint a clear picture of this legacy. Documents reveal that a massive portion of his personal assets, roughly 45%, comes directly from shares inherited from his father and aunts. This is the unmistakable mark of a grand family empire, passed down through time. His balance sheets show an incredibly diverse portfolio, boasting more than 2 billion pesos in equity investments alone. Most remarkably, Ledesma and his prominent wife, actress Asunta de Rossi, declared themselves completely free of any bank debt, proving their colossal mountain of wealth is completely untouched by outside loans. His return to the chambers of Congress and this historic, massive financial disclosure serve as a stark reminder of the lasting power that ancient wealthy dynasties still hold over the nation's political and economic destiny. The runner-up in these chronicles of wealth is another titan of industry, who managed to seamlessly convert his massive corporate dominance into undeniable political strength. Representative Mikey Romero, serving as the voice for the One Pac-Man Party, Romero has dominated the records as the absolute wealthiest member of the House for years. Though his exact 2025 net worth remains hidden from public view, his past filings have repeatedly positioned him at the absolute peak of the lower house, controlling a fortune estimated far beyond 7 billion pesos, making him a legendary giant in office. Long before entering these halls of power, Romero had already carved his name as an industrial giant. His vast wealth flows directly from a massive commercial empire, anchored by his strategic control over critical shipping ports and national logistics operations through his powerhouse firm, Global Port 900 Incorporated. His influence extends to the skies, as vice chair of Air Asia Philippines, and into sports, owning a major basketball team, perfectly blending commerce with personal passion. Unlike other leaders, whose pathways to riches remain shrouded in mystery or ancient family inheritances, Romero's empire is clearly mapped to public corporations and heavily documented industrial triumphs. Born to a prominent construction magnate, he expanded the family legacy, pushing aggressively into the nation's key infrastructure sectors. Achieving such an immense multi-billion peso empire while conquering the notoriously ruthless and cutthroat world of national politics marks him as a truly formidable player in history. He stands as the ultimate model of the modern merchant prince, dominating both the halls of law and the powerful corporate boardrooms that drive the entire national economy. And now history brings us to the ultimate reveal. Sitting at the absolute peak, undisputed, history records one name as the unchallenged titan of Philippine political wealth: Senator Cynthia Villar. Back in 2019, her officially filed financial disclosure documents amounted to roughly 3.88 billion pesos. Yet, as staggering as that figure seems, it barely scratches the surface. The true archive of her power lies far beyond her personal balance sheets, rooted deep in the astronomical empire she co-owns with her tycoon husband, Manny Villar. Her partner, the former Senate President Manny Villar, holds the historic title of the wealthiest billionaire in the entire nation, boasting an incredible $17.2 billion as of 2025, a sum that translates to nearly 1 trillion pesos. According to state laws, wealth amassed during their marriage must be legally classified as shared conjugal property. But this is no mere footnote in a law book. It reflects a profound economic reality. Cynthia was a crucial partner in forging this massive empire from the ground up. Far from just a passive political spouse, she served as the co-founder and financial brains of their operation. She steered their cash flow as they transformed their modest startup from a simple sand and gravel dealer into the massive housing behemoth called Vistaland. What does history tell us here? Though her individual filings report billions, her true financial might is bound to a family treasury hundreds of times greater, a ledger entry that completely overshadows every other leader in our records, launching her into an entirely separate league of power, reaching heights of fortune rarely seen in the history of civil service. Her rise from being the core business strategist alongside her husband to a dominant two-term senator was fueled by this unprecedented economic force. The data verified by international analysts and state laws tell an undeniable story. Senator Villar transcends the label of a wealthy politician. She stands by an unmatched margin as the most affluent official in modern Philippine history. There we have it, the 10 wealthiest figures in the Republic for 2025. Let us review the archive on our top 3 titans. Holding the third spot, Representative Julio Ledesma IV, with newly audited assets totaling 5.8 billion pesos inherited from his family dynasty. Ranking second industrialist, Congressman Mikey Romero, whose wealth stems from massive shipping networks and infrastructure valued at over 7 billion pesos. And reigning at the peak, Senator Cynthia Villar, whose state disclosure is just the start of a colossal family fortune that reaches nearly 1 trillion pesos. This chronicle is far more than a simple ledger of names and fortunes. It offers an investigation into the deep core of state authority, where the boundaries between governing a nation and managing an industry are faded. They are completely fused together. We observed empires forged through modern broadcasting by figures like Rafi Tulfo, global sports legends like Manny Pacquiao, and historic agricultural estates like those of Jules Ledesma. Yet the defining historical trend is the heavy concentration of resources in ruling dynasties, especially the Villars. with multiple family members dominating this registry. The vast scale of their capital raises profound questions about governance and public power. Historically, we relied on the SALN to provide some basic transparency, but our investigation reveals these official numbers differ wildly from the true economic power a dynasty actually wields. Even with modern reforms, the system allows a dangerous level of secrecy, which completely obscures the real fortune of our leaders. This forces us to ask, when a public servant commands billions or belongs to a dynasty holding hundreds of billions, where do their ultimate loyalties lie? With the citizens who elected them, or the massive business empires they truly protect? This is not just about wealth. It strikes at the very heart of democratic integrity. These colossal financial resources grant these specific elite figures a massive, practically unbeatable advantage during every election, shaping a political arena where it is nearly impossible for ordinary citizens, without giant bank accounts, to even stand a chance. It cements a historical pattern of dynastic power where immense riches are handed down through generations, locking key national influence within a tiny circle of tightly interconnected families. Now let us examine the final, most crucial question of this entire chronicle. After tracing the billions and hundreds of billions of pesos held by these rulers, how do you react? Are these fortunes inspiring narratives of hard-won triumph, monuments of ultimate achievement, or do they signal a dark warning about how money and power have permanently fused within the Philippines? Share your perspective with us in the comment section below. Your insight is essential in this vital national debate. Thank you for following this historical investigation with us. If this historical record opened your eyes, please hit like and share it with other citizens. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel for future investigations into the events that shape our world.